screen, select a different item, change some fields on the screen, select a different item, and so on. Everything's peachy. Now, if you can't do an undo or don't want to do an undo, and undo is pretty simple. That's next week's session. I'm going to talk about the command pattern, and that talks about how to do undo. And it's actually crazy simple to do. As long as you break things down to the right level, it is really simple. But if you don't want to do undo, then you're going to want that option of the save and the cancel button. And at that point, it requires you to keep track of the changes before you write them to the database. And your OK button is just going to say, take all my objects and boom, dump them all out at once. Now that can perform better. It depends on the system you're using. This is a server system that I'm working on right now. And the people who started setting it up used Hibernate. And so they're using Hibernate to automatically map between databases and objects, which sounds like a great idea. But anytime something goes wrong and you have to debug that mess, I mean, it's vicious, because you get these stack traces that are like 40 methods deep, and trying to figure out, well, what does that error mean? Especially if there happens to be a bug in Hibernate under the covers, then you're really hosed. And so it's one of those things that I've banged my head against the desk several times because of. It can be something, if you have a very simple data model, it can be easy to set up. But as your data model grows, it can be a real nightmare to maintain. But it has the advantage of automating that for you. You can basically just say, save these objects, and it persists them all for you automatically. As opposed to you having to walk through and then figure out the right squeal statements to actually update the database. And by the way, SQL is pronounced squeal. I was told that by a very reliable source who is a comedian. But anyway, it's one of those things. It's very much a depend situation. I've done it both ways. Sometimes it's